teams time and time again delivering on this map. We've seen teams finally stepping up to the plate. I'm looking at Seoul. I want to see them again today. They woke up late game yesterday. Maybe today they're going to do the same.
Signs of life indeed. We've seen what they can do when they perform to the best of their ability. The most important thing coming into these very last 3 games of this event, we have 5 teams all above 200 points. And with the scoring system, when you bank 30 points for a first place finish, anything can happen. This is anyone's game. I would say at least maybe 6, 7, potentially even 8 teams are still in contention for that $180,000 prize.
Well, let's just look at the top 3 when you come across that sort of idea. Top Esports, XQF, Elite Esports, these 3 teams only separated by 6 points. It is anyone's game. That's 6 kills. That's a little bit of placement, and that can make all the difference here. There is moves to be made. There is still so many points to be had. It could be anyone's game, but it has to start now. You can't wait till the end. It is go time. First circle coming in, hitting just above kind of northeast of Roshog, so you have a northern circle to start off with.
Boots on the ground, usual suspects, usual places. Get the gear and get gone. Circle facing off more towards the north. Sosnovka completely taken out of this one altogether. Teams will have to transition. I'm already seeing ARG. They'll cross the bridge just down past Nova. Maybe make it round about the Milter area. There is potential they go to Milter Power. It's clear, but they won't need to because we've only got one team that's lingering and kicking it round there. BTR, usual suspects for Nova.
Wait, did Angry just get run over for SSG? Did I just see that correctly? That could be an issue. I'm seeing it as well on the map we have here. I think there might have been a bit of a casualty to start with the North American side. You've had to pull in Rolex here. He's going to be the adjusted player. So if they're already suffering a loss at the very beginning, that is very bad news.
Less than a minute in, they're already losing a player.
Angry as well. He's been a pretty good player for them. He's the one that, you know, I certainly took notice of last year around, so this is going to be a surprise if they've lost out on him so early in a map like this.
Yeah, dangerous stuff looking afoot for the North American powerhouse. Coming into this one, people were hoping for a much higher placing, and at the moment, compared to where they are, certainly not showing what they're more than capable of. 13th place, 151 points. That's 99 points to be precise, behind the tournament leaders. To be within throwing distance, have been able to get that. They need at least 2 wins out of this one, 60 points instantly. And there is 2 sides and 2 games going on when we look towards competitive PUBG Mobile. You do play for placement, yes. When we come down into these latter games, you're looking for the kills, you're looking for the points that you can pick up, but you need the other teams to do badly. There is a potential that maybe we get down to the second from last game, the final game, you go after those points by killing those teams at the top of the table.
Now, I'm glad we're looking at Top Esports because this team really caught my eye. Yes, they're sitting at the top place currently. Their consistency has been king. Actually, I'll come back to that because it's not just Angry going down. Rolex has been caught off. No time left for him as George is pushing that one. Going to probably flush that. You can see Sixless and Juicy trying to find a way back in, but it is way too late. SSG just down to 2. The North American hope is not looking so hopeful here as this is the fight in Yasnaya, but it looks like SZB are getting way more confident, pushing across, heading out further east. But coming back to what I was saying about Top Esports, these guys have been consistent kings at this game. Out of the 13 games played thus far, they've been in the top 10 times. Within those 10 times, they've been in the top 5 8 times. They are consistently placing very well. And let's kind of roll it way back to how they got here and why you should be looking at this team as someone to maybe believe in. They just qualified into this with 4 points. That was the difference of them making it and not being here. And currently they're sat in first place. That to me is a brilliant story to follow with these guys, and I hope they keep doing well. But XQF are hot on their heels, and those guys, they frag out. They have been bolstered by their kill points, not the placement points.
I mean, they got a placement in the last one of a chicken dinner and then 15 on top of it. That's 45 points, whatever way you look at it, and it's propelled them to the top of the table, and here we are. I mean, that top is still very fragile. Top 250, XQF 248, ELG 244. Even further afield, another 24 points behind that, and you've got RRQ Athena. One game can literally change all this, and we have to play it game for game now. Map by map. Vikendi after this, and then moving back to Erangel once again. And this, when you do have Erangels like this, and plenty of them in play, you're kind of on home turf. You're on that reminiscent map that you've been doing since day number 1. You get a lot more restricted play, you have good communication, good teamwork. There's more ways on this side, me personally, that you can minimize any kind of RNG. You now have to play off the back of that.
But contact, hold on. This is revenge from earlier. Juicy gonna get contact. He does get the knock, but he hasn't been able to flush yet. They lost out on Rolex and the other teammate there. They've actually suffered pretty badly at the start on this one. Being down Rolex and Angry will be very hard for SSG to recover from, but maybe they can get some points on the way through. They've definitely fallen away from where I hoped they'd be. I thought they'd come in being a bit of a powerhouse. Still, we are seeing the rest of the team trying to respond, and Juicy might be using him for bait. That is an interesting theory if he's actually gonna do it correctly, but look at the pull-up here. Darcia comes in, Juicy better be ready for this. If you're gonna put down the bait, if you're gonna put that on the hook, just fishing it out there, you better be ready to deliver off the back, and he's gone for the escape plan. Does he make it? He takes the damage. I thought he might have just stunned us with some moves there, but he will be fine. He'll be peeling away from this, and it looks like SZB might be adjusting themselves as well.
Evacuate the situation, or see the car go by. Just uses the wall to keep for cover. Dips down low as well, so Noata won't have the info, but he will hear the vehicle.
Pick up. Here it comes, spraying across. He needs one more shot to hit, and he gets it. Good pickup from Juicy, being a real nuisance to the other side that was taking over Yasnaya. He wants it all for himself, but where is Sixless in all of this? Where's his buddy to try and help him out here?
He's playing this as the one-man solo mission. Sixless is on the opposing side of Yasnaya across the road. Maybe he's reading the information, maybe he's been fed this. Backburning, waiting for the right time to strike. RRQ Athena, currently 4th place, 220 points. 3 third-place finishes. Plenty on the podium, a 2nd place and a 1st. So only 1 win so far, and that was in day number 1, the 2nd game of the day to be precise. They've had 2 times to come out with multiple double-digit kills, so they know how to frag. The current reigning world champions, they're every time to stamp authority on the world of PUBG Mobile esports. Now would be it, lifting a trophy back-to-back. It sets a precedence and sends a message to everyone else who's looking upon you.
A tournament of this scale, this is where you're decided if you're truly the king. Sure, you can be, the big fish in a very small pond, but this is the global scale. This is, whoever wins this is the undisputed king. This is it. So, whoever picks it up, whoever closes out these last 3 games with an incredibly strong performance, they're the ones who deserve it.
I know it's about the game and the players right now, but I just want to give a shout out to the designers and the producers, everyone who's put this incredible format and stage together. I mean, what a perfect place to set up the players in the booths. The AR, it's just incredible. It's the perfect scene for a grand finals. There's a lot of money on the line here, a lot of reputation. These guys have been fighting tooth and nail to get here. The competition's been madness. I mean, we're speaking about the India region, 11,000 applications just to get through.
But that's why we're so hyped for Seoul, right? It's that excitement factor. If they had to grind through such a long qualifier, and they already have that reputation that precedes them, but they came in, they had a bad start. No one's going to dispute that. But they came back, they turned it around. So you saw what they can do when it goes right for them. That's why we get excited about this team. And at the moment, they had a very good start, actually, and they're still in a good position with the circle shrinking just south of Severny, kind of closing away from that, circling, I guess, around school-ish, maybe to the east by the apartments. That's the center point. So actually, a lot of the teams we've been talking about are pretty close by. They're all kind of centralized here. There's lots of room available. So I think it's the next one that's really going to be decisive for these teams. For now, if we see a compound crash, that's because they really want it. There is room for others here.
Bit of a more slower-paced game here. The circle does come down from Severny and centralizes. You get the river and the pond of Yasnaya that runs through. Just to the top. This will split the map up very ever so slightly, but force everyone more towards the south around that Potato Hill area, just coming out of Pachinki. XFQ also lingering in the distance there. Over on the western front, we see 2 teams. Queso, GCB, potentially on a transition path that may force an engagement between both. We'll keep a tab on it and just check in if that does kick off. But the one head of this pack, the one head of the main engagements for me, it's all across the east. From Yasnaya, working your way down to the farm, you've got about a string of 9 teams that have all potential to just bump into one another on transition.
Well, we're seeing ELG at the very least here. towards PURPLEMOOD, just trying to catch a shot with that SKS, trying to hope that something comes out of it. I don't think you're gonna get much, but also just keeping control of this compound. They are in a 2-2 split, so two of their players are not here, so they want to try and display that they're, you know, scarier than they are, keep teams away. They want this compound. That's what they're gonna be trying to do, and it's a good idea. It's a very good plan. The other two players from their side are in the woods. They're in the forest, just in the distance. You can see them there now. So again, it's a nice plan, but you do need to kind of plume the feathers and try and ensure that it stays yours. But sticking on board now with Bigatron, like you see there, these guys have been turning up as well. Definitely starting to find a bit more punch to their side. Let's see if they can maybe get some of those points on the board here. They could definitely do with it.
Zuxi and Luxi, we certainly have seen the duo-ship working together. There have been several times where they've split off from the rest of the pack, or even just being the last two remaining because they go for a 2-2 split. But the teamwork and the communication, you'd have to say with the names that they've been playing together for a hell of a long time, and it shows. You know, it's tandem teamwork, it's tandem shooting, tandem coordination, and it's the reason why they've been doing so well thus far. 8th position on the board, 170 points. Certainly a lot of work to do, but not out of it by any means. GCB, XQF, looking towards these hillsides, the mountains, the center of the fields. Be careful, Justice, that car doesn't run you over. It's a little bit of a clip. GCB needs to be really careful because they're moving towards XQF.
Yeah, and these guys, they are your fraggers. They are bloodthirsty. That's what's been keeping them in this one, and you can see why. Jimmy with a really nice connection. Good shot through, but that's going to send Rose and the gang readjusting. They're looking for a new way forward, a new compound. They don't want to tussle with that. They don't want to mess with that. And Jimmy's still going as well. He's not slowing down. We do see GCB getting caught up on that rotation. A player has been knocked, but they probably can get a revive off here. They should be safe, but still, I'm looking at, do we get a placement, a good placement from XQF to match those kills we've been seeing coming in?
I'm thinking that he's gone out of that one with the knock because of how low his health was. You'd have to assume the vehicle bashed into the side of that tall tower building and knocked him out.
Hold on.
Circle, though.
Let's talk about who is in prime position.
SoL.
SoL is sitting in Rozhok. They are just the kind of, I guess, the gatekeepers of the river. They decide the fate. Do they go north? Do they go south? But they have the best chance of doing it now. This is big.
The difficulty of this terrain is that river. It will separate life and death. Yes, SoL are in a good position. They are central. Should that circle go towards the north, though, you're facing an uphill battle. There's one little Harry Potter tower that looks down upon this. If one team takes residency in there, the circle's favorable to them. They can watch everything and just overwatch everybody who wants to make their way up the circle.
And the team who's doing that right now at TOPESPORTS, they are on the northern side. And here's the pull-up, and there's the shutdown. Zooms out of nowhere, and that's a huge punish and a big pickup for PURPLEMOOD.
SZB, when you're down at the bottom of the table in 94 points in 16th. Losing two players like that, round 14 will not pay dividends. PURPLEMOOD will now install. Angry. Oh, that was the
That's
one
how
from
it
the
started.
First.
That's what makes sense. He must be trying to get to Yasnaya, and they just caught him on the way. And that's how we saw the North American team suffering so early on. Juicy did get some revenge, for sure. But that has just cut them off at the knees so quickly, so early on.
ELG, breathing room at the moment.
Nice compound too.
Yeah, love how you touched on it, just about to say the same. It's a nice area because you can watch that bridge if anyone does want to move through, if the circle comes their way.
They've got a player over there as well.
Rozhok. You can be pinned back. I think with the bridge that will come out of Yasnaya to move across, maybe all teams just swing. You can either go around the Yasnaya ponds, take the up against the blue, play the edge. But once you go into the north, it's an open field. You're playing with dips, divots, trees, bushes, any kind of line of sight denial that you can find. We're seeing the same pretty much on screen now. Sixless are just moving off the back of a power pylon. There's literally nothing else to do in this open area. It's a single one-man band. Excuse me, he's not. So they're still playing the 1-1 split. Okay, so this is the emergency. This is the placement play.
It is. They are looking for placement. They can't be expected to go beyond that at this point. Look at that northeastern rotation as well. So many teams heading that way. We are seeing TEAMQUESO being punished. They were way out in the west way earlier on. Coming in late is not going to help them out here, and teams are so set up. They've built these structures. They're fortified. They're ready. Senior there for RRQ. Going to be finding some players too. So this bodes well for some of these teams looking to maybe find that resurgence towards the top. Ooh, a denial for Lashin.
K9. Straight across, puts him back down, and a bit of a dampener on what was happening there for 6-9. Queso smokes up, they'll be able to get the res. There was no confirmation of a knock, RRQ Athena forced back off this one. BRK standing strong. They've got the rocks to play off the back of. They can deny the line of sight and use and just hunker down for now. G9 up close and personal. Maybe they don't have the information yet where he is. Look, seeing the kill feed. Bandit's gone down. We've got another engagement going on. This is what it'll be like for this circle. All these teams transitioning. The North is starting to get hella busy.
It is, and you can see TeamSouL, they started in Roshok and they might just finish there. They are south of the river and that will punish. We are seeing Jasper finding kills too, so still getting those points going, but at this point TeamSouL hold good territory. They are the keepers of the south, but they might have to consider how do we cross.
Okay, so they can't go up. You've got this level 3 building that's pinning them back with the garage compounds. They've already been damaged and had one player removed from them. TeamSouL can mop these guys up. The smokes, yes, they're there for a defensive to hide the bodies, but once it's dissipated, it's just a homing beacon to where you are.
Viper hoping a shot hits there. Got to be careful out in the open. There could be other teams in the south. Yes, they're far away.
Hit the snipe across the map. That's onto a Weiss. That's a response.
This is what worries me. If they get a little too ahead of themselves, they've got to be careful to not take this too lightly. There are a lot of good players looking their way. Unique are in danger in the middle of the open. Fire from afar coming in from Lapis up on that hillside, but again, keeping tabs on what's going on. That north side is going to be littered with teams. So many converging on that area. XQF disengaged from the south, went all the way up on the north. They're going to be coming around towards this fight as well. Plenty of frag-heavy teams coming towards this direction.
And I fear for TeamSouL at the moment in the position they're in. The circle has gone towards the north, so once they're done with Roshok, they'll have to cross the river. And that will be an absolute gauntlet with everybody else just waiting upside of the hill. These players that are in front of Viper right now are key. Once they remove them from that position, they can transition across the river and take residency there.
These shots coming through. Senab did just find a player as well. I'm pretty sure they got the knock on that. You can still see Sixless in the kill feed doing the damage, but everyone's just trying to pile into all of these teams caught in the middle, caught on those ledges. 15 team stand. That means we've lost out on one. That's TeamQueso. Eliminated first here.
And that was from 2 different angles. I think we saw a unique player coming. We also saw SSG, and then TeamSouL just ignite the kill feed, and now they can step across the river. Now they have an avenue of approach where no one's directly in front of them. They know it's not safe because there were multiple angles going to that position, so you need to have the utility. You have to have the smokes if you're going to take that cliffside.
Yeah, and PURPLEMOOD just suffered casualties in the north. I think that's because there's so many teams around there now. They tried to hold the ground. They tried to work their way forward. Jasper was getting kills, but it got a lot of attention, and look who turned up. XQF knocking on the door, and that's not what you want. These guys are deadly, and Coolboy is one of them. Scary, scary player when he gets into it. Good position as well. Managed to catch a really nice compound here. Plenty of open space around, and you can see you've got XQF, top esports as well, very close by. So some of the very top heavy teams, very much at the top of the scoreboard currently, all starting to converge together.
XQF's land grab is huge. They split players in a 2-2 scenario where you basically cannot get any avenue approach towards them. If you turn up in a vehicle, 2 of them will have eyes on you from all 360 degrees. That's a huge amount of land they've taken.
You literally have the top 3 next to each other. From west to east, it's XQF, Top Esports, and ELG all along the same line in the north. They control that big portion of prime territory, and there's Cat making the debut here. Jasper goes down, and this is already 2 kills coming in for XQF in this round, and we can imagine there'll be more of that coming up soon. I think it's just Narwin left standing for PURPLEMOOD. That's a bit of a shame for them. I'd like to see more. And here's the new circle. Top Esports have it right now. XQF have it right now. ELG can work their way in, but all those teams in the south got to get moving. But here's another engagement. Cat's on the fire.
With that snaking road that goes through the middle of it, Top Esports essentially have the GOG compound, but they need to defend it with their life. Everyone will have a difficult time approaching them. There is a bit of a back ridge that you can hide behind towards the south, but once you come across that bridge all the way down south, SSG is camping that. We have 5 teams still outside the circle all the way on the south. Meanwhile, on the north, there's really nowhere to go whatsoever. XQF are controlling the west side.
Wait. SSG are about to find maybe TeamSouL on rotation. Hold on, that could be huge. Keep your eyes on the kill feed. If that happens, you know what's gone down. RRQ Athena are in trouble. They're losing out on Ernie, your kind of fragger, power, your big man, your head hunter, and there it is. That's what I was talking about. Sixless has found Viper. Mortal's gone down. This is not good news. This is coming across the bridge from Roshok. They've gone past some. They might be trying to send it at this point, but this is not good for TeamSouL.
The rest of Seoul will be deflected away from that one. There's nowhere for them to really go. They either commit to it or they just completely bail from the scenario. Luxy finds Ronak, Scars Black's gone. That's a bit of a poor performance, unfortunately, down at this stage. You do need those points to pick it up. Viper confirmed by Sixless. Juicy now finds a Weiss. And all that time, what's going on? We've lost Unique, but Seoul, they have taken so many casualties. They're gone.
That is so bad for them. You wanted more, but here we go. SSG are coming alive. Maybe in the pressure moments, that's where they find themselves the strongest.
Sixless?
They lost out on 2 to start with, but Sixless is coming into his own here. Let's see what else he can do. He wants the fight. Juicy, I don't see him healing right now. Maybe looking for some meds. Maybe looking for a way forward. They have to fight their way to the circle. Nova's gone down as well. We're looking towards the top 10 pretty soon here. Moha on the move. XQF on the ridge line. Oh, he takes down Cat. Big pickup. Is there a follow-up? No! Fire from afar comes in, and it's Paraboy playing support.
They've still got 2 up, so they could potentially force this advantage. They do. Coolboy turns around, hits the deck, gets the shot. 6-9's gone. What a drop shot from hell that was. That basically could just finish them off and seal the deal. They're gone.
9 teams standing, 28 players. You got to keep your eyes on who's still standing. Top Esports are still in this. XQF are still in this. The South is about to be ignited here as well. So many teams looking for so little space.
And your top 3 are in a good scenario. Top's no one really to challenge. XQF, they control 40% of the map single-handedly. Next down from that, where's ELG in all of this? They're on the opposing side. They don't have to take this fight. Our top 4 is literally still locked together in the center.
And remember, the top 3 are only currently split by 6 points. That's so little at this point. That's a couple of kills here and there. But here we go. Luxy's found Juicy. That looks like SSG are losing out on their lives. They've kept themselves in this so long, so well. But now the circle comes in and it moves to the west. XQF have the best ground. Top Esports next. But then ELG, RRQ, Athena, all so close by.
Bigatron still with 4 players alive. They've been kind of quiet so far in this game. We haven't seen a massive approach from them just yet. Donjin biding his time. Broncho does step out. There's the damage done. Fireboy from afar. The second one hits the deck. That's not the knock, the confirmation. Meanwhile, Fireboy from the distance with the SKS. He does get involved. Arak and Athena are gone. They're split between the wings. That's 2 teams that have battered them from multiple angles.
That was 3rd against 4th there, and for ELG, they're just trying to keep RRQ Athena away from that top 3. Jisoo Busan has fallen in the meantime. We're into the top 7 now, 25 players still standing. This one, Top Esports have all 4 standing. Bigatron, all 4 standing. XQuest, all 4 standing. And ELG, we have some very scary teams in full force.
Top Esports and XQF, this circle has been so good to them. They've not moved for the last 10 minutes. They're controlling these compounds and nobody did. What? Sixless! What was that?
And that confirms the death of the Brazilian killers of always to go out. Sixless is going down fighting. He will not fall without taking names with him. ELG making their move. This is brave, this is bold, and it's risky. They're trying to find a way forward for themselves. XQF control the West. It's all theirs. Uh-oh, this nade.
They're weak. That shouldn't get it, surely. It does!
Oh, Fireboy setting them alight, and there goes ARG, losing on 2. It's got to be push time. They're flooding in. They're taking the fight to them. Top Esports here, just coming alive in the final moments, getting those kills in the pocket, trying to keep themselves in this one. The spray from Sixless here, hoping for a shot to find its ground, as ELG are getting third-partied now.
What a Hail Mary that was. Grenade goes in, team goes out. Top Esports no longer have someone knocking at the door. They can control the compound. They can pick the meds, the bandages, everything that they need to keep going in this fight. Next fight survivability is crucial. These latter stages of the game, your armor, it's damage. You're looking for helmets, you're looking for vests. Your players, if they're being knocked, the bleed outs will be quicker. The more players you can keep alive going into...
Sixless just found another. He's surely dead to rights now.
The point.
Oh my word, he sprays and prays, but it doesn't come through. A valiant attempt for Space Station, and especially for Sixless. Big performance there for him, but welcome to the top 4. This is a huge battle about to go down.
TS reads the info. Listen, Ryzen. That's a confirmation of a kill. Zuxi goes down. Fireboy again with his SKS at range. Time and time again, you just see him peppering across the map. The smokes are up. The info's there. But the blue is on their back. They will have to move. White Cat's got the vehicle. Where do they go? They need to be careful because the further they advance to this one, look at XQF. They're still doing what they did early game. They're so spread out. They control a quarter of the map single-handedly. But the circle, it's gone south. It's hard shifted. It's going to pull everybody down towards Bigatron.
Top Esports just got a line on ELG as well. It might have been through the smoke there towards Ming, and they know where BTR is. They have all the information, but they have to make the play, and here it comes. Top Esports flying in. Can they clear it out? It looks like there's still an ELG player standing. Ming is dead. Years is dead. Who's still alive? One player. Oh no! He's gone down. Oh, it's a shutdown.
He's just annihilating them all single-handedly. He's held on for dear life. Fireboy is bleeding out the wayside. Skur has to come down. XQF advancing. The mollies are coming through. They hit the gap. They don't go quite through just yet. Skur, can he hold back Cat? Cat's knocking at the door.
Oh no.
The mollies, they're just going to burn him inside.
I don't see it reaching him just yet, but look at XQF, so aggressive. Zuxi's been found. That's BTR. That's Bigatron not having the game they wanted here, but they are still trying to cling on for dear life. 4 teams stand, 8 players, and 4 of those are for XQF. We have snakes everywhere.
Does Cap have the information there's a player inside still?
Oh, look at the true Wookie.
He hasn't moved, Lauren. Bezai's still there. He's moved now, okay, the information, the death, job done, bye-bye. Valiant effort, but unfortunately it's shut down. Skur also, he falls simultaneously. We're down to 2 teams.
XQF won that top spot back, and they are fighting for it hard right now, but it is a 2v4. Ooh. Will they be able to win out? Zuxi finds Jimmy. We're into a 2v3. Cat now trying to play forward. Jimmy is confirmed out of there. This is not great from XQF. This is deadly. That's dangerous play. They need to be careful. They need to be cautious. Don't allow Bigatron back into this. But Ryzen looking for the way forward. Cool Boy further ahead. Paraboy next to him. And Cat holding the back lines, but Cool Boy's creeping forward. He's looking for a way in the smoke. Ryzen sprays, he doesn't catch him yet. Zuxi gets a glimpse, peeks over, sees Cool Boy. The